everyone. Welcome to Showcase Minnesota. I'm Rob Hudson.
Hi, everybody. I'm Corbin Side.
But first, a detective story that's brimming with intrigue and romance. We'll head inside the pages of Marilyn Jacks's Road to Omelos next.
Welcome back to the show. A murder, adventure, a little romance, and a few exotic locales. Sounds like the right ingredients for the perfect page turner, and that's exactly what our next guest has mixed together for her latest novel. In Road to Omelos, Minnesota author Marilyn Jacks follows two private investigators as they track down a notorious criminal while keeping a group of vigilantes at bay. And Marilyn is here this morning to tell us more. Good morning, Marilyn. Great to have you. Welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure to be here.
This is a wonderful, wonderful book. And how much of it was influenced by your own career? And let the folks know what you did prior to becoming a writer.
Sure. I was a fraud investigator for close to 20 years for the state of Minnesota. And that definitely influenced my decision to write mysteries and provided a great background for me to write mysteries.
When you were in your previous career, I'm sure you had a lot of interesting cases. You had to have been, or maybe you weren't thinking book. Oh, this would be a great book. I mean, everyone really thinks about their day-to-day life. Oh, this would make a great book, but you especially so, I imagine.
I always thought about writing, well, during my career, especially when I'd have a really interesting, intriguing case. I'd think, oh, this would make a great book someday. So, yes, I mean, that was always in the back of my mind. And at a book signing I did at a major bookstore not long ago, a friend of mine came up to me from junior high school and said, "You were talking about writing mysteries when you were in junior high school. I remember it." I don't remember that, but she does vividly. So
maybe she's a psychic. Maybe
I guess it's always been in the back of my mind.
How has your travel, because you mixed the travel, I mentioned that in the intro there, and you travel quite a bit. Where, do you live in Minneapolis, Miami? Where else is it? The Caribbean. You've got, okay, and,
Yes.
and then you've been to Greece, which this is based on
Yes.
the Isle of Crete.
Yes.
How much has your travel influenced your writing?
I would say very much. It would be possible to write my books without traveling, but traveling has certainly lent an interesting perspective to my books, because when you're in a place that you're going to write about, you can really feel the place, the flavor of the place, the food, the people, the culture, the mixes of culture and civilizations, and it really lends to the authenticity and credibility of your writing.
This is kind of a follow-up to The Find. You have the same main character,
Yes.
but like we were saying in the hallway, and I kind of joked, so it's kind of like a soap opera. You don't need to read The Find to pick up Road to Omelos and pick up where the story's going.
That is correct. I plan to write a series of books with the same two main characters, Claire Caswell and Gaston Guy Lombard.
How do you come up with the names?
They just pop into my
Really?
head. I never give it much thought when I'm writing. The characters come to life, and the names are with them. They're in my imagination.
Are you fans of, say, John Sanford or Vince Flynn? Do you read there or get ideas on maybe how to structure a murder mystery or detective book from those other local famous authors?
You know, I read all the mystery authors. I do a lot of reading myself. But I also think it's really important for an author to find their own voice. And their own voice and their own style of writing. Yes, I believe I have.
That must have felt good. For a while, did you feel like you were copying, or oh, this sounds too much like this writer, that writer? And then did you have an awakening? And it's like,
you know,
this is original.
I did, because as a fraud investigator for the state of Minnesota, I wrote a lot of reports for the court. So that was just the facts, ma'am. Very, strict, rigid facts only kind of writing. So to make the leap from that writing to fiction was a leap. And I found that I had to, with my first book, write and rewrite until it flowed and people wanted to keep turning pages.
Yeah.
And I remember that moment when that happened, and I thought, I got it. I figured out I mastered this writing thing. Yeah.
That's cool. You mentioned a book signing earlier, and you do have a book signing tonight. We're going to talk about that.
Yes.
It's at Barnes & Noble in Apple Valley, and we will talk about that a little more. But let's talk about this one you just told me about from Eyes of Mendota. Now, this is an eyeglasses company that is having a book signing. And what's the promotion? That you're going to get a free pair of readers, or a free book if you buy a pair of readers?
Yes.
What a great idea.
Eyes of Mendota has partnered with iBobs, the eye reader company, and they're together going to put on this event on Saturday at Eyes of Mendota, Mendota Heights, from 1 to 4 in the afternoon. anyone purchasing a pair of iBobs will get a free copy of my book signed.
Now, did you have anything to do with this? Was this your idea, or did they just approach you? That's pretty cool.
I walked into the store, and they had read The Find, everyone at that store, and loved it so much. And they said, we have a great idea. We want to do this event with you. And they told me about it, and I thought, wow, it's wonderful.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Are you going to be there signing the books?
I will be signing books there from 1 to 4 in the afternoon on Saturday.
Well, you know, you guys stick around a little bit because I'm going to ask you to sign my book, too. Thank you so much for joining us, Marilyn. You've got a great story.
Thank
and congratulations.
you.
Keep writing these mystery novels. They're great.
Thank you.
Thank you so
My
much.
pleasure.
Marilyn, as she mentioned, is hosting a number of upcoming book events. Tonight, as we also mentioned, she's going to be at the Barnes & Noble in Apple Valley at 7 p.m. For a complete list of her events, visit showcaseminnesota.com and click on the Wednesday link. You can find Marilyn Jackson's book, Road to Omelos, in bookstores everywhere.